Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Marvin Baumann, and in this video series I'd like to present and educate you on a concept which I call tautology. And the term might be familiar to some people, but I use it in a sort of a broader sense, meaning a sort of conception of your own life, your understanding of what you want to do personally and what's important to you, and how you bind all of this together to give you a clear direction and sort of psychological stability. In German, I call this Halt, or foundation, which your life is placed upon and which reinforces sort of your direction and your happiness in your life. And in this series, I will be going into a bunch of different topics to ground the concept, which then I will finally present towards the middle of the series. So starting out just very basically, what is a tautology? So strictly speaking, tautology is a term from logics, which is a piece of math. It's basically a statement that proves itself, which does not need another statement to hold it up, to keep it stable, let's say. So it's just something that says like, good is good. Or, yeah, I should have thought of some examples. But yeah, I mean, I can name some examples later on. But basically, it's a statement that proves itself. So it's independent and it's autonomous in this way, and it's closed in this way. And also, you could think of something that points towards itself, being a tautology. And as I said, in this series I'd really like to try to teach you a wide range of different important basic realities and dynamics of the world as far as I can understand them, and combine all of those in an interdisciplinary and philosophical way to teach you how you can find your own way in life and your own psychological stability through the creation of your own proper tautology, and then through living out this tautology. And I will try to explain all of this in detail. And as I said, the tautology, I will use this name as a literal tautology, a sentence that proves itself, but also in this broader sense, which I used it right now as well. So let's get into what is my intention with this series and why am I doing this. So very basically, I'm not trying to convince you of anything of this. This is supposed to be sharing my perspective, and in the hopes that you might find this helpful for yourself. And I think all of these topics are actually really important and also really interesting. So I think there's also likely an entertainment aspect to all of this. So enjoy and strap yourselves in. Right. So also I just try to put all of these ideas out there, and I'm really curious of what you guys will send back to me, because some of you might relate, like you have all of these ideas and you might be sharing them with some friends of yours, but maybe they can't relate fully. So that's why I took the step to go out into the internet and just send this somewhere, and maybe something will come back. And this also means I'm really, really open for discussion and feedback and whatever else. So just comment underneath this video or write me on X, on Twitter with my name. And yeah, just shoot me a DM if you want to. And yeah, I'm curious what will come back. So before we start out, I really want to make my approach clear to thinking about and teaching yourself all of these sort of topics, right? So since I will be taking an interdisciplinary approach, you can already guess that it's not like I have a PhD in all of these fields and all of these topics, right? So it's really, really important to stay open-minded and to just listen to all of this and see if it fits, if it makes sense for you, and also trust me to some extent to put all of these pieces together until the very end, right? So there will be content across a wide range of different topics here. And maybe in the beginning you might be wondering, why is he talking now about this topic and now this totally seemingly unrelated topic? And I will try to show you how all of these things come together. All right. And chances are, of course, that some of these topics will be new to you, and some won't be new to you. And you might even be an expert in some of these topics, which I then am not. So please just comment, maybe correct me or something. I'm really open to all of this. But chances are also that in some topics you might not know what it's about, so maybe you might learn something, right? And really my intention is to draw all of these connections and to try to then explain a broader point. And I've made this thing right here to show it to you for now. Let's see if I can. Yes. Right, so let's say I am talking about one topic. This has like 3 different points, and we understand how all of these fit together. And then I might like explain like a whole nother different field of topics, and you might think like this is totally unrelated. So this is a whole nother different field with interlocking parts. And then I will show you some connection. And then I will show you how, from all of these things I explained, this overarching theme of tautology in relation to your own life and in relation to human life in general will emerge. And yeah, this is something I will try to bring across. And let's see how well it goes, right? Yes, and as you might imagine, this will require some sort of creativity from you, and I call this a suspending of disbelief, or sort of a patience, where you just really have to wait until the whole concept is constructed, and until you can follow me until the very end, let's say. So now next up I will be just talking about a quick primer on philosophy, and then finally I will give you just a quick overview of the topics which I intend to cover, which might those still be subject to change later on, right? So the basic idea is that philosophy is about living, okay? This is what the series at the end of the day is about. So of course we might be sharing interesting ideas, and we might be enjoying all of these ideas. But at the end of the day, philosophy for me is not about sitting in a room and talking about ideas, but it's about how do I live good in a good way. And of course, what good is subject to all kinds of things. So let's not get into this for now. But yeah, philosophy is not about old men sitting in dusty libraries and thinking up some complicated sentences. So even though some of these topics might be complicated, I don't intend this to be just this boring, complicated thing, but I intend to teach an interesting connections and interesting aspects of the world, which I think are not enough talked about, and certainly are not connected in this way, as far as I have seen so far, to really be instructive for your everyday life and the rest of your life. So yes, philosophy is about how should I live, what is life, what's going on in this world, and how should I live. And for this reason, doing philosophy means thinking about and understanding and living philosophy in a practical endeavor. So philosophy is not only sharing ideas, but it's actually a way of living. But this way of living, of course, is informed by understanding of the world. So this is a sort of very classical understanding, I feel, which I have of philosophy, which our ancient Greek forefathers did have as well, right? So for this reason, some episodes might be rather practical and some might be more theoretical. And I will also, I really believe also in sort of these sort of thought experiments which you can do, and because grasping reality is really also about experiencing reality, which you certainly have to do outside in the real world, not in your own room, but also to some extent you can run experiments in your brain and then experience life in terms of new concepts you understood. Yes, and I will be going into perception later in the series, which is really important. Yes, quick primer on overthinking. In my opinion, there's no such thing as overthinking. The only thing you could do is being unproductive in thinking and worrying more than you should, right? So as long as you're productively thinking, which means you're continually progressing in your understanding of the world, which informs your own philosophy, which informs your way of living, this means you're continually working on living better than you did before. So, and to me, there's no limit to this. So there's no way to overthink, but you have to be productive in thinking. So maybe this is something that will come across on the side in the series as well. So just to sum it all up, what is good philosophy? Good philosophy is enabling a perspective on your concrete actual life that helps you to live such that you experience your life to be a good life in whatever way you do understand this. And this is not an easy task, right? So not even so even describing for yourself what a good life is not easy, because most of the answers you're giving are mostly, I would say, societally transmitted. So you really have to ask yourself, is this your own idea of a good life, or is this just a regurgitating of what you heard in the news or wherever else? So at the end of the day, all of this understanding for me is really a practical thing, right? At the end of the day, the truth of this philosophy and these understandings of life are grounded and proven by the results they deliver in terms of delivering a good life for yourself if you lead it. However, this does not usually mean you're completely delusional and lying to yourself. And also, I don't intend to speak anything which I think is not true. I just think it happens to be the case that in human life and in this world, if you know the truth, if you understand how life actually works and how the world works and how physics works and whatever else, you are actually aligned with reality. And if you know how reality works, you're much more likely to be able to interact with reality and manipulate reality such that you yourself are experiencing a good life. So everything I say is hopefully proven or disproven by working or not working in terms of your own life. But in general, I think it is aligned with being truthful, because truth means reality aligned, and reality aligned means results are more likely. Right. So to end this introduction, I will quickly go over the topics which I intend to cover in this series. So I will be starting out with a sort of a basics section of the thesis of the series, with the very first topic on perception, human perception, how you perceive the world, and how your way of viewing the world comes to be. And I will be giving short primers on like the biology, psychology, and also some philosophical elements. So this might seem theoretical, but I assure you, this is one of the most important video episodes of all of these, because it really it is basically the foundation you need to understand all of this. Because if you understand how it comes to be that you perceive the world as you perceive it, then you can start unlocking the knots, and you can sort of like figure out the puzzle of life, to say it like this. Second video will be about what I call the emptiness of the physical universe and human religions, No more description required for now. Next up, I will be talking about systems thinking, because systems thinking is really, really important. This will be also practical in other areas of your life, I believe. And most importantly in this, the concept of stable, self-reinforcing feedback loops. And maybe here you already notice a connection to the overarching theme, where I said a tautology is something that proves itself or that points towards itself, right? So very much this idea of self-reinforcing feedback loops and the stability you get from these sort of feedback loops is closely connected with the concept of tautology. Next up, I think this will be maybe the toughest chapter of this whole series, and I will be getting real about human life, which means we have to tackle really tough but very real topics on human life, starting out with what's called existential terror. So this is just an existential primer, let's say, and this one will be really practical and will be involving a lot of thought experiments and a lot of facing reality, which you are a part of. So this might not make sense right now, but I will show you this is really important. Next up, I will be talking about the intermingling connections of death, culture, and self-esteem. And next up about religion and evolution, and then some more or generally about psychology. And maybe I will package these into maybe not 4 videos, but maybe 2 or 3. We'll see, but those will be the sort of things I will be talking. And then I will also give some primer on philosophy in general and existentialism in particular, which I think is quite insightful for our purposes here. So next chapter will be on getting practical and creating your own tautology. And this will work in 2 steps. First, you will learn to observe yourself such that you can understand yourself, such that you can know how do I need to construct my tautology, such that it actually produces all of these outcomes which I want in my life, basically such that if I live it out, it produces a good life, and such that also it's stable. So yes, first we learn how to observe and learn about ourselves, then we will actually go on and construct or build this tautology. Then to some degree the series will be over, but I would encourage you to actually also listen to the addendum or the 3 more videos which I would intend to make, which are really, to my mind, quite important concepts, and also I feel will put some more bones on some more flesh on the bones of this whole concept, and just gives you more context and some more input on how to choose certain pieces of the tautology, and just some more perspective on what the functionality of these pieces will be inside of your tautology, right? So one will be something which I say is the human mind as an association network. So this will be very much about human cognition and how your own thoughts and feelings and your way of perceiving the world basically is through this association network you have in your brain. So sort of similar like this network on the right here. All of the ideas and concepts and memories and so on are stored in a network-like fashion and are also discovered through this network. So I think this is an important topic, and I will go more deeply into this as I come to this video. Next up, this will be more of a technical plus a philosophical video. For now it's titled Complex Systems, Principal Component Analysis, and something I call Good Values, which I define as a value that is proscriptive. That's meaning it tells you what to do clearly, and that produces what it talks about. So this sounds theoretical again for now, but this will become really practical to you, and I also feel like really important for your own construction of your own tautology. And lastly, I think also it's worthwhile to talk a little bit more deeply about Nietzsche and some of his concepts. Most importantly, something that's called master morality, and the general value I feel like he espouses, which is one of life affirmation. And this I then tie into the previous video, in identifying life affirmation as a good value in the way I define it, and as an inherently positively reinforcing tautology, which yeah, I then in the end I didn't write this down, but certainly I can also give some examples, or maybe even share a piece of my own tautology, and in a way I am already sharing a piece of my own tautology, by trying to describe how I am for now understanding the world. Right. So this will be it for this introductory video. I know for now this might not have been very a lot of content, but I think this set the stage for what is left to come, and hopefully you got some sort of idea of what this video series is supposed to be about. And yeah, if you liked it so far, please subscribe to the channel, leave me a thumbs up, and see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye bye.